Citizens in Orange County, California, who are attempting to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed right to petition government are being thwarted by the county public agency.
We think we're going to make it. We think we're on track to reach our goal of the required number of signatures to get our signature approved on the ballot. But in the last 3 months, we've run into some problems which are not a fault of our own, but rather inconsistencies in the voter registration database.
I started getting phone calls that I am registered. I've been registered here for 10 years. I've been registered here for 12 years. I did update. I just voted in the last election here. And it was consistent. It was, once we started sending, and I think we sent out like 350 total. It was very consistent. And that's when I said, you know, to the proponents, you must do something about voter registration because there's something wrong in the software.
It looks to us as though the database that we purchased for them was inaccurate and not the same database that they maintain at their own offices. Why? Anybody's guess. They've got some problems.
We asked the organizers of a local city initiative in Newport Beach to explain the situation.
Well, back in September, we filed an initiative with the city clerk of City of Newport Beach. And towards the end of September, we received a ballot title and summary. At that point, under law, we, the proponents, had 180 days to go out and get signatures from 10% of the registered voters in the city of Newport Beach. And upon receiving that number of signatures, we would then submit the petitions with those signatures to the city clerk's office for verification. And assuming that we did receive at least 10% of those registered voters on our petitions, then that initiative would be placed on the ballot for voting on by all of the residents of Newport Beach. And if a majority of the residents of Newport Beach supported that, then it would be enacted into law.
We collect signatures, we validate them against the voter registration database, and that is software which we've purchased from the Orange County Registrar. As we validated, we found a higher than normal error rate. In other words, signatures that were considered bad, that were not on the database. When we had one of our other organizers help validate that further with the registrar, we found that the database that the Orange County Registrar had was inconsistent with our database.
This was not an isolated problem. Tom Russell, spokesman for the CUSD Recall Committee, faced the same problem when his organization tried to recall his local school board. He turned in over 177,000 signatures and ran into a stone wall when he submitted them to the registrar's office.
They came up with a decision that we hadn't certified, so we sent an inspection team in to verify those results. We purchased the same disks, I think, that the other group had purchased, and we realized very quickly that through that review process, the error rates that we were discovering were unsettling. Error rates that were in excess of the differences that we sometimes find that separate winners from losers in some of our elections. That is very troubling.
Elizabeth Vitale is a professional signature gatherer who worked with the Newporters for a responsible government on their city initiative. As an experienced professional, she realized something was very wrong with the system.
A lot of signatures were coming up bad that shouldn't have been. These addresses were long-term addresses, these people's names. I mean, it just something seemed strange. It was too many for the ratio. In 6,000 signatures, you may have 25 to 50 where they put a post office box. They forget to sign. They forget their address. They forget to something. That's a norm. Out of 6,000, you may have 1 to 5% that are bad. I was starting to get like 15, 20. I'm going, what's going on here?
Her experience was echoed by Jennifer Beal from the CUSD Recall Group.
Our software that we purchased from them, we did find an error rate that their validators had validated at 24%.
Very frankly, the error rate is substantial enough that it should cause anyone concerned about our democratic system to be concerned.
John Butolph explained the discrepancies he found with the voter registration rolls.
A number of the voters whose signatures had turned up as bad on our database contacted the registrar's office directly and were told that according to the database maintained at the registrar's office, the address that they had given us was good. So with all that information, we went back to the registrar and said, hey, what's up? And we were informed that, yes, in fact, the registrar's office was aware that there were discrepancies between the database that they maintained at their office and the information that had been provided to us, that is, the database that we had purchased and were using off the disk.
They contacted voter registration, and voter registration said that, yes, they knew that the database and the software that was prepared from the database had flaws.
We followed up with the registrar and gave them so far a list of 350 bad signatures that they are double checking to see, if they can correct those. And what it's caused is we've lost a lot of time because we've had to double check on this excessive amount of bad signatures, and that's taken away from our efforts to be out there collecting signatures.
The other thing that we have found when we've been reviewing it is the input of mixed numbers and wrong spellings. Then you can't find these people. So there's a lot of errors in the inputting of this data when they come off their voter registration cards.
But we understand that they might be understaffed, overwhelmed, and a database that hasn't been updated in a long time. I don't want to make that accusation until we find out for sure. But they seem to be basically maybe lost a little bit of control over the integrity of the data.
I think that it's the one office that should be able to have the most up-to-date, best information available to the public. And it's wrong in Orange County that this is occurring.
This is a single database, and whether it's corrupt or not, we just simply need to find out.
Full disclosure went to interview the Orange County Registrar and was denied. Each time we called to speak with Neil Kelly, the acting Registrar of Voters, he was continually out of town. When we confronted the person in charge in his absence, Suzanne Slupski, she was instructed not to be on camera.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
Am I being filmed right now?
Yeah.
I cannot appear on camera.
Oh, okay. The purpose of our full disclosure program is to present information to the public. We asked the Orange County Registrar for a public statement regarding the inconsistency in the voter rolls. They refused, referring us to the County Council, as if this was a potential legal matter. We got this letter in response. The Public Records Act does not require a public agency to create a new document or compile information that would not otherwise be compiled, and therefore the registrar will not prepare the requested statement. There seems to be a modus operandi to avoid and ignore among the public officials regarding this monumental concern. The Orange County Registrar, as well as the County Council and the Chief Executive Officer of the County Board of Supervisors, have all adopted a code of silence with obvious disregard and contempt for the voters of their county. They simply refuse to acknowledge there is even a problem. The frustrated citizens are looking for redress.
And I really hope that the Board of Supervisors does step in and take an active look at the voter registrar. There's a lot of elections this year, and important elections, and it's important that all of our initiatives and our elections are treated with great care.
Our fight is really not with the registrar unless we found something egregiously wrong and something that was actually intentional or something truly bad. At this point, we just know that it's broken and it needs to be fixed, and we just want that fixed so that we can have confidence in it when we get our issue before the registrar come November.
It's just there were so many bads. There were just too many bads. I do validation, and my validation is at 85 to 95, and I was going, there's something wrong here.
And I really hope to God that they have the registered voters database corrected so we can have a fair and honest election come November.
We want to know what you, the viewers, think. Please participate in our survey. Number 1, are you confident with the reliability of the Registrar of Voters in your county? Yes or no? Number 2, is it acceptable for government agencies to refuse to provide public information on critical issues such as election integrity? Yes or no? And number 3, do you think the inaccuracies depicted here are caused by inept employees in the registrar's office, or is it deliberate to allow the politicians in power to manipulate the election process? Please respond to our survey and leave your comments below. Thank you.